Hey, I feel like we've gotten to know each other a little bit over the last 2 to 3 years of this channel being a thing. And I feel like with our relationship, I feel like we can be more honest with each other than we have been. For example, like the reason my fingernails are painted is because I went and got a mani-pedi with my wife last week. And honestly, it was the greatest experience ever. I would recommend it for all of you men who have ladies. Go do that. She'll love you. Another thing we need to be honest about, there's only so much advice I have to give you on streaming. There's only so much advice there is to give on streaming. I can only say so many times in so many different ways, hey, you need to go and make content on YouTube if you wanna be a big Twitch streamer. I can't keep saying that. You all know that by now, right? When I first started saying it 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I was one of the first, if not the first person to say that. People didn't realize there was no discoverability on Twitch. There was such a disconnect between Twitch streamers and YouTubers. Now, we all know that. We can't keep saying that. Most of the advice for streamers has been shared, except for this one. There's one big thing that I need to share with you, and it's the difference between the streamers stuck at 100 or 200 viewers versus the streamers that go 2,000 to 5,000 viewers. It's also the difference between streamers who blow up and they get partnership, right? They hit that threshold path to partner and then numbers go right back down, versus the people who just continue and seem to continue to grow for 5 years. What is it? We're gonna talk about it today. Let's talk about it today. Hey, so real quick, let's thank the sponsor of today's video, Elgato, and their new Keylight Mini. If you haven't seen our most recent video on this light, it's very similar in size and brightness to the Keylight Air. And by that I mean it's very bright. But between those two lights, there's one main difference, that being that the Mini is battery powered. So after you're done streaming and you're ready to shoot your videos, you can quickly remove it from your setup and place it wherever you need without worrying about where the nearest outlet is. Place it on a tripod near your setup, mount it to the top of your camera for to-go shots, or just stick it to any metal surface you want with its built-in magnets. And of course, just like any other Elgato key light, you have complete control over the white tone of the light, and you can adjust those colors from your phone, your PC, or your Stream Deck. Personally, and I know this reason's gonna sound a little bit petty and unimportant compared to all the other stuff I just told you about, but one of the reasons I'm most excited to use this in the vocal booth in our recording studio is because it's charged with USB Type-C, not a proprietary power cable. So when I mount this in there, I can have whatever length cable I want, like a perfect length cable, and I can plug it into a tiny little power brick. No more of those like fatty power bricks, you know? It's gonna look clean. So if you'd like to pick up a Keylight Mini for yourself, make sure you just use the link in the description down below and enjoy. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary that we draw this out into like a full length video. I don't know how long it's gonna be. I'm going to try to get through this in an efficient amount of time. But at the same time, this is incredibly important, and I wanna make sure that you're fully understanding this concept before we just move on and never talk about it again. All right, so we're gonna go over this particular strategy, which by the way is very real and a known strategy. And then we're gonna talk, probably more importantly, about a couple specific content creators who did and did not use this strategy, because this strategy is not anything new. At least it's not new for YouTubers. It's brand new for Twitch streamers, but it's been the meta on YouTube for 7 to 10 years now. There are 2 different tiers of growth strategies on Twitch. One of them, I mentioned before, we know very well. The strategy of posting as much content, reconstituting your content, being efficient, things like grabbing clips of your stream, editing them together, throwing them on TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Things about taking portions of your stream and trying to make them as entertaining as possible, right? While you're sitting in your gaming chair, how can you make the most entertaining stream? And then how can you share those moments of your stream as many places as possible? We're gonna call this the standard growth strategy. All right, we're gonna put that in this corner over here. And then in this corner, we have this one that I'm gonna talk about today. And we're gonna call this the advanced strategy. For a moment, we're gonna get to it in like 30 seconds. This one, very commonly known. I've been talking about it for 3 years. You guys all know it, and a lot of you guys have used it and I've seen it do amazing things. It is so cool to be browsing TikTok. By the way, that in a sentence on itself, not cool. I need to get rid of TikTok. TikTok, your app is so addictive. I need to delete you, but I can't quit you. But I'll see Twitch creators on there grabbing clips of their stream, slapping them up multiple times a day and growing to hundreds of thousands of followers. And I'd love seeing that. It's so cool. I've seen creators do the same thing on YouTube, whether it's shorts or long form content. And I'm not even just talking about like the massive ones like Courage and Valkyrae who have a whole team of editors, blah, blah, blah. I've seen small creators start doing that and explode. And it makes me so happy. But, and there's always a big but, that is usually where the effort ends. And that is where the effort ends in the standard strategy over there. It is, how do I take the current me? How do I make it the most entertaining on stream as possible? And then how do I spread that content as many places as possible? And generally, the ceiling, the cap on that strategy is about 200 to 300 concurrent viewers. I've seen it a lot. I've seen people blow up on other social media platforms and they can't seem to get above that 200 to 300 viewer curve. If you ask me, it's because they're missing an important component. This strategy only gets you to thousands of viewers if you have one of three things. You're either, and I talked about this in the previous video, if you are either an insane gamer, like Shroud level gamer, people watch you for your gameplay, maybe you have an incredibly magnetic, natural personality, right? People want to be around you. There are some people that have blown up that way just by being live. Or you are an anomaly, right? You're someone that you don't typically see in gaming spheres, and this is not limited to this, but for example, a really pretty girl who also is really good at video games, that attracts a lot of the gamer styles. That's not any way putting these people down, but it is an example of an anomaly that grows really fast there. And look, there may be a couple other genres of people that can break that ceiling, but in general, unless you're one of those things, you are stuck at that 200 to 300 viewer cap over here. No matter how much you grow on TikTok, you're at 200 to 300 viewers. And the reason that that happens, the cause of that ceiling, is that person was so focused on putting out as much stuff as possible, on just creating, that they forgot about the creator. They forgot to work on themselves. The advanced strategy. When I would tell people that I streamed on Twitch, the first thing they would ask me is, what games do you play? Or in other words, what thing did someone else make that I interact with? But when I would tell people I was a YouTuber, they would ask me, what kind of videos do you make? What do you create? Do you hear the nuance there? Do you hear the difference in the attitude of the way people see Twitch streamers versus the way they see YouTubers? If you find yourself stuck at 300 viewers or 100 viewers or 50 or 10 viewers, there is something you can do. A surefire way to grow on social media and become a long-term and well-received content creator is to develop a talent, to become one of the top creators in a category, to dive into something you've always wanted to learn, find something you're passionate about, and become as close to an expert on that thing as you can. I've watched 99.9% of the gaming and streaming community sit in front of their computers and do the same thing that every other one of them plays, which is mediocrely or maybe slightly above mediocrely play a video game and see if they can have more energy than the next guy. Developing a unique skill to a unique level of skill turns you into an authority that people look up to and look to for advice. Because the internet, as you'll realize if you grow any sort of professional relationship on the internet, is very fickle. And they're very quick to move on. If the only reason they watch you is because they find you entertaining in the moment, or they find you fun to watch when they've got nothing else to do, there will always be someone who comes along and is a little bit more entertaining than you. People get bored of the same thing. People want to move on, they want to find new things. But by becoming an authority on a topic, especially a topic that people are passionate about, you become someone that they respect. Now, let me give you an example of each real quick. Now, for an example of the standard growth strategy, I'm going to use a show and not a person so as to try to not be very insulting. But if you guys have been on YouTube as long as I have, you might remember someone named Ray William Johnson and his show Equals 3. Now, it's important for you to know that Ray's show was fairly groundbreaking at the time. The content was just him making funny commentary on viral videos that were going around, but he had a higher quality set, higher quality camera, and higher quality editing and video style than anyone had really ever seen before. His editing was fast, like current today's strategies, but he was like one of the first people to actually use it in the day. It was a phenomenal show. It was super interesting. It was super fun to watch. It was like your daily dose of internet in like 3 minutes. But the show wasn't about him. He didn't bring anything special to the table except for entertainment value. And there's probably a lot of you who don't know what I'm talking about. After a couple years of being one of the top shows on YouTube, the channel eventually completely died. I've actually seen him back around. He's kind of rejoined the internet and he's on TikTok now, which is really cool. You love to see it. But the problem was, other than entertainment value, there wasn't really a lot of value there. And so when people got bored, they moved on. In my opinion, one of the prime examples of the advanced strategy is Michael Reeves. And I'm sure when I say that, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I have never seen someone with a greater fundamental understanding of robots and coding than this guy, combined with hysterical entertainment value. It's the perfect combination. The dude exploded and he was able to transition that success over multiple places, including live streaming. But if I could express one more thing without making this a little bit weird, it's probably going to be a little bit weird. Bear with me. This is me looking at it objectively. There is a psychological social change that happens when you look up to someone or respect someone. Everybody subconsciously places themselves on a social totem pole. You shouldn't try to place yourself on the social totem pole, but it's how we naturally do things. By becoming an authority on a topic that other people are passionate about and becoming someone that they look up to, they will end up placing you above them on that totem pole. That's what it means to look up to somebody. And that lasts. That respect lasts much longer than entertainment value. Now, it's important to know this is not like its own completely separate strategy, the advanced one over here. It is a layer on top of what we've already built. Once you develop those skills, you still have to put it out there as many places as you can and become as entertaining in a way as you can to share those things. But the creators who are able to strongly develop a skill, become an authority on that topic, and then spread that content out to as many people as possible, always succeed. And by the way, there's always a balance going on here, right? Like there are people who have developed a skill so incredible and unique that they don't even have to have any kind of social skills or entertainment value, but what they're doing is so cool that people have to watch it, right? This is why some professional content creators have said multiple times that self-awareness is one of the most important skills in this, because if you can understand your weaknesses, you can understand what strengths you have to develop. And I'd love to dive deeper into my experiences and observations of this happening on the internet sphere, but that would make this video super long. So if you want to talk more about this with me, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday on my personal YouTube channel, youtube.com/Harris Heller. So link in the description, join me there. Let's talk more about this. Let's make this a real thing in your content, maybe brainstorm a little bit. But after this giant ramble, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you watched this far, you obviously enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, or if you didn't, hit the dislike button, that's fine too. I hope to see you in the live stream. I hope to have more of a conversation about this over there with you. And as always, happy streaming.